the problem is not the structure, it's not the function, it's how they learn to respond to pain over a long period of time. And a lot of times we think of it as the nociception. We think of it as the rotator cuff tear that is the problem. That's just one piece of the puzzle. In fact, there's three separate parts of this. And I think that each one of us are good at some of those pieces, but you really can't be great at them all. So I'm going to cover just a little bit of what I mean by that, and we're going to talk about kind of this situation, because you can really have central sensitization from the bottom up, and also in the bottom being a damaged, inflamed peripheral cell, muscle, tissue, joint, bone, whatever it may be, or you can have central sensitization from the top down. So from the bottom up, for anybody who has kids, you guys have seen this, and I see it all the time. Little Johnny here falls off his bike. And when Johnny falls off the bike, he does not look at his knee. He does not feel pain at that point. He looks around for everybody else's response to what's going on. He looks down and then he sees the blood. He's got a bloody knee. He has some nociception. He has his mom running over to him, screaming and crying, and his bike is on top of him. Johnny's going to look at the cut. He's going to look at everything happening and he's going to determine this hurts. And that's okay. It does hurt. He needs to put a Band-Aid on it. However, now he has the response to seeing blood. He has a response to falling off the bike. He has that response to his mom look on her face. And unfortunately, that creates that learning, that memory, not only the sensation, the internal stimulation, the external stimulation, but that whole experience turns into a memory. So we're all going to do this together. I did this last night with my wife and showed her these pictures, and hopefully you guys don't have the same response, but I'm going to show everybody a picture and we're all going to have a response to the stimulation. So that response, so everybody's looking at the same picture. We all see the snake. We all have a different response to snakes. So what's your response? Think about it. Are you scared of the snake? Are you happy that you see a snake on your screen? Sometimes you have people that have good experiences around snakes. God forbid I would never do that ever in my life. But this kid, if you look at him on the internet, he plays with snakes. He's never had a bad experience around a snake. Snakes are his friends. He likes snakes, and he has a smile on his face when he looks at that. Myself, when I was 12, I was bit by a water moccasin as I was jet skiing and I fell off the jet ski. I was burning severe pain. Now, every time that I see a snake, here is my response. This is a top-down response. This is, I experienced a bad memory, and I have learned to deal with that, obviously by peeing on myself. However, we have to look at all the insertion points and all the things that have to happen to make sure that I can change this response. So in this case, I can just avoid being around snakes. However, what if I have this problem? What if I'm in a clinic and I have somebody who can't pick up their arm past 90 degrees? So let's call this guy John, and John cannot pick up his arm past 90 degrees. What can we do? We can do orthopedic testing. We can do our best SFMA classification. We can do McKenzie. We can do all those things, and we can figure out exactly what's the peripheral source of that. But let's say John's had this for 15, 20 years. Let's say John is 60 years old. What's John going to do? Before he comes and sees me, he's going to stop picking up his grandchildren. Every time he goes to pick up his arm, let's say he's getting the jug of milk out of the refrigerator, he gets to 90 degrees, and what's he going to do? He's going to say, that's not a good idea. This hurts. So he's going to stop picking up his arm to a fullest extent. He's not going to sleep on that shoulder. He's going to start taking pain relievers. He's going to maybe switch jobs. That's chronic pain. Chronic pain is when, in this kind of situation, you have a bottom-up type stimulation, a bottom-up type memory, and now it's affecting every part of your life. And that's the issue. So the solution for this is to really understand how we learn. And then if we can take a realistic, if we can take an evidence-based approach to learning, then we can actually come up with the solution. And learning is not intellectual. It is intellectual, but it's also physiologic. When we learn, it's actually a physiologic process. And there's three places where you actually are learning at the same time. You're learning in the periphery and the actual cells that are injured outside of your body, inside of your body, outside of the actual nervous system. You have the dorsal horn in the spinal cord. And then you also have the brain